On today's show, we unpack the stupidity of racial idolatry in our uncomfortable conversation. We will also check our smoke detectors as we discuss Jasmine Crockett's keynote address this past weekend. It's Monday, so you know we'll have some awesome music nostalgia in our Turntable Rewind segment. And I think you'll like my throwback picture this week. It's a bit sentimental, but it's still very, very AJ. All that and more coming up on the Rant Experience. Thank you for tuning into the Rant Experience. This episode is brought to you by our official merch store, AJsRANTroom.com. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you get new uploads and live streams hot off the presses. New episodes of the Rant Experience drop every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Now let's get into it. Over the weekend, our favorite Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett was the keynote speaker and received an honorary doctorate from Tougaloo College. She says the civil rights legacy left by former Tougaloo students and those who held sit-ins at a segregated lunch counter in Jackson was still relevant. But it was this moment in her speech that left everyone in a pinch.
There are going to be people that tell you that you don't belong, and I am here to tell you over and over and over that you absolutely belong. There are people that are going to tell you that there is not a table in which there is a seat for you, but I am here to remind you of Montgomery and those folding chairs. Let me tell you that we know how to use a chair, whether we pulling it up or we doing something else with it. Let me be the first one to tell you that I know that y'all are ready to put your boots on the ground. That's your cue. There we go. Hey.
You ready? How very inspirational. For real though, I'll say this. It's 2025. The portraits of black and white images and fire hoses and dogs being sicked on black folks, like, I'm bored. This whole we still in like we in a perpetual state of we shall overcome? Like, is that the new? Well, it's not new. Is that the thing we do now? Is that this the thing we're just gonna do forever? Generation after generation after generation, we're just gonna continue to hold on to historical hurts. Is that what we're gonna do? Because I'm bored. I'm just not interested. And I've said this a billion quadrillion times. It is one thing to know your history. It is another to live in it. What are we doing at this point? And also, I don't know if you got the reference, but remember, I think it was a couple years back when that whole thing went down in Alabama, where the black dude and the white dude, and they got on the water. They got to fight the boat, and he threw the hat, and the whole rumble went down. I don't remember all the details, but I just remember the hat being thrown and kind of like it was a black versus white thing. But I remember that being on the pier. It was on a pier, right? And then all this stuff went down, and the black dude swam across and jumped in, and all of that stuff. But that's what she was referencing with that, in like terms of like, we'll use chairs. Really, we still gonna get violent just to be violent. Now, if someone's violent, 'cause this is where Martin Luther King and I take the fork in the road, and I was very much more Malcolm X on this. If someone's being violent with you, yes, absolutely, you have the right to be violent back. But if somebody is not being violent with you and they're just ignorant, why are you even giving them that? I was watching some show. I forgot what show it was. It was a clip. It was like a scene that popped up in like my stories on YouTube, and it was this black man who was trying to hail a cab in New York, and he's like losing his cool, and he's with his daughter, and it was like Upper East Side, so it's very Shishi LaFonce. He's a very successful black man too, but he lost his cool, and he starts like hitting on the car, on the cab hoods, and he's like screaming and yelling. And his mom, who is very high society black woman, sees him, and she turns her back and she walks away with her friends. And they talked later, and she's like, "You you can't let them have your dignity. You can't let them have that. You can sit up here, you can annoy me, you can frustrate me, but you cannot have my dignity. I'm not going to be out here acting like a rambunctious fool because you call me a name. Because you calling me a name says more about you than it does about me. You calling me a name not going to affect the deposits in my account. You calling me a name is not going to affect how I go about my life. You calling me a name isn't going to make me any less of a man. You calling me a name is bull. They ain't got nothing to do with me. Now, layeth of the hands is something else. Now, if you layeth of the hands, that's the next level. But until said moment, I don't really care. I'm not a naturally violent person. I'm only violent if you get violent. You get violent, I gotta get violent because there's no way I'm just sit here. And you may even take me down. You may even take my life, but you won't forget me. That's what I say all the time. Also, real quick on Jasmine Crockett. I don't know if this is true or not, but the smoke detector controversy, hilarious, hilarious. If it actually did happen and there were like smoke detectors going off every time she spoke, and I know there was a video that I saw with like a track of a smoke alarm going off, but if it actually happened on the congressional floor, but I think it was a joke, but it was hilarious because she is literally placating to that type of black person. The black person who does not change the batteries in their smoke detector. Now, I'm not that type of black person, but there's been several times I've been hosting a live stream and beep right in the background while somebody's trying to talk about how much they love Kamala Harris. Please stop. It I mean, while you go get your wig glue and your lashes from the Dollar Tree, you can grab some, what is it, 9-volt batteries or whatever size batteries your smoke detector takes, but I think it's the 9-volt. Anyway, but it's not my issue. So, in other political news, Donald Trump added to his Truth Social not too long ago that the 2027 NFL draft, excuse me, that the 2027 NFL draft will be hosted in Washington, D.C. at the National Mall. That's exciting. That's going to be pretty cool. He'll still be president. Hallelujah. Praise God. So that's really big news. And then, maybe I'm going to shut up.
So what happened on this day in American history? Well, it's not really American history, but it's North American history, and we love it today. Cinco de Mayo. Mexican forces, outnumbered 3-1, defeated the invading French army in the Battle of Puebla, a victory celebrated as a national holiday in Mexico and parts of the United States. And in 1741, John Archer, an American congressman who received the first medical degree issued in the United States, was born in Churchville, Maryland. Now, are we ready for an uncomfortable conversation?
It's always lit over at AJsRANTroom.com. We got the best bags and accessories, our beloved Black Series. We got fresh lids for you hat lovers, fire jackets and hoodies, and of course we got you covered on the t-shirts. And introducing our first shoe line, Aloysius Germain. So get on over to AJsRANTroom.com today and get to shopping. You won't be disappointed. Racial idolatry is for subhumans. Racial idolatry is for low IQ individuals. Racial idolatry is for maggots, the maggot form of human beings who have nothing else going on. If everything in your life, black, white, or otherwise, I don't care what race you are, if everything revolves around race, you are part of the problem. Now, I'm referencing this because I'm talking about these two cases. This Shiloh woman in Minnesota and Carmelo Anthony. Apparently, because black people in bulk donated to Carmelo Anthony's GoFundMe, which then became a Give Send Go, um, in dramatic numbers. I think he got over 500,000. I haven't checked stats lately, but he got over 500,000. And so this incident with the Shiloh lady happens. Now, apparently there was a little kid, a little black boy. He was Somalian, I believe, and he was in her purse or in her diaper bag or something, and she proceeds to call the little boy the N-word. It's a little boy. Period. Now, the same side, which is my side, y'all talk about protecting children. Are you only talking about white children? Okay, because what she just did was she traumatized a child. Now, if that was a grown man, sure, wild out on him. I don't care. But that's a child. I don't care if they're 5-year-old, I don't care if they're 10, I don't care if they're 12. They're still a child. You, as an adult, you find their parents. You don't address that child in that way. I don't care about the race of the child. If a child does wrong, you go to their parents and you make it clear to their parents that there's an issue. But to call that child the N-word for whatever reason is out of line, it's unacceptable, and it's ridiculous at this point. And so, of course, we have the people who call themselves Christians, the people who call themselves Republicans, the people who call themselves Americans, patriots, colorblind, online celebrating this woman. So they just start a Give, Send, Go for her, which is over 600. I don't know where it is right now, but the last time I checked, it was about $627,000 she had raised. That's crazy. So you all are stupid. I just want to make that clear. If you donated to Carmelo Anthony with no facts, you have no facts on this case yet. You don't know if he set it off, if he was in the right, if he was in the wrong, if it was truly self-defense. You have no idea at this point. Yet and still, you jump to donate. To what? I don't know. Then you have this bimbo over here who attacks a child. Now, I'm on the side of protect children, right? I'm on the side of save the babies. So when a child does something wrong, you have the right to call that child a nigger. When a black kid does something wrong, you have the right to call him a racial epithet. Get the hell on with it. That is a child. That is unacceptable on every level. You address his parents. And if you can't find his parents, you leave his little ass where he is and go about your day. But here's the kicker. Shiloh not only called this child the N-word, that wasn't recorded. So some pervert who was in the park, I don't know if he had a child with him or not, but he got it on. He turned on his camera phone and said, "Hey." So let's be clear. The person recording, I don't stand behind this person at all. They're not a good person. I have no idea why they're even in a park around children, based on what this person's charges are. But they were recording Shiloh, who then doubled down and tripled down on calling a boy the N-word. You're all a bunch of brain dead, useless monkeys if you believe for one moment that this is proper behavior. And please spare me, the white people are under siege. The white people are under attack. You're not under attack. You're not under siege. Please stop playing in my face. Now, are there boneheads who go around and say that all white people are racist? Yes, they're boneheads. How is that affecting your daily life? No, it's not. You see 3 videos with 3 black people saying all white people are racist, or we want this and we want that, and you don't agree with it, and then you apply that to the entire black race. Let me be clear to idiots on the black side and idiots on the white side. They meaning political figures, race hustlers, They use the fringes of all of our groups and highlight them and then magnify it and make it seem like we are in this racial war. When if you go out into the real world and touch grass, you realize most people don't give a damn about race. Prioritizing race in how you move about life is one of the stupidest things you could do. It's reductive. It's feeble. And it should have no place in 2025 America. So interesting. I hosted a live stream yesterday on this, right? And I had white people coming up into my live, into the box, into the what we say on TikTok is the box. You came up into the live stream to talk, calling me the N-word, calling me monkey, calling me a liberal, because it's always funny you become a liberal when you call out white people. But when you go, if I got on here all day and just badgered black people, white people be applauding me till the sun comes up. Hey, white folks, you're not above reproach either. This is AJ's Rant Room, aka the Rant Experience, and I'll do what the hell I want over here. I ain't stroking nobody's ego over here. I'm just calling it like I see it. A ball is a ball, and a stripe is a stripe. An I is an I, and a T is a T. Okay, cool. All right. You don't get preferential treatment because I'm a conservative. You don't get preferential treatment because I'm a Republican. No one gets preferential treatment. It is about the individual. The individual is what I'm focused on. So either I rock with you or I don't. Either we cool or we not. Who you voted for doesn't matter. That's how you learn how to talk to other people. That's how you learn how to relate to other people. And then you also come to the conclusion that I've come to because you've actually been in the world talking to people who don't think like you, who don't approach the world like you. Most liberals are not these radical, crazy, rabid, foaming at the mouth people who can't have a conversation. Most conservatives aren't these crazy right wingers, religious, so religious that they can't have a human conversation with you. That's the lie we've been fed about each other. So when you buy into it and you think, well, they're using racial idolatry, so I'm going to use it. You're dumb. That's the stupidest move you could make, especially if you're calling yourself a conservative. We're the logical ones. We're the ones supposed to be rooted in reality, in the real world. We're not the ones flying off the rails, making up all these genders and things or whatever. And that's not all liberals either. But you can't stand on my side and be acting like a wild maniac because you saw 2 videos where black people were disparaging white people and now the whole black race gets thrown out the window. It's the same thing with these bullshit statistics that y'all bring up about violent crimes and black people. 13% of the population is committing most of the crimes. No, you twit. If 13% of the population was committing all the crimes, they'd be committing all the crimes. It is a fraction, probably 1% of that 13% that's actually committing those crimes. And you're sitting here applying that to me and all of the great black people in this world. Your statistics are flawed. You are feeble-minded. And you are not above reproach. You are not above being corrected. You are not above being told, yo, shit stinks too. So just like I will come up on here and correct a black person for being out of line, I'll correct your ass too. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is how you really test these people who claim they don't see color. Because I find very funny that as soon as I say or do something, that some of these white conservatives, because these people are not conservatives. These people have no idea what a conservative is for the most part. But they call themselves conservatives. And again, these are fringe people who ruin it for everybody else, right? So they'll call themselves conservative, and then they'll get on their soapbox about this stuff, and then they'll pull down the line of race just because someone else is doing it. That is not how a true conservative moves. It is unacceptable at this point in 2025 that you believe you'll sit up there, liberals are, liberals, white liberals are the most racist. Malcolm X said white liberals are the most racist. Until you yourself disagree with me. And then I become every racial trope, right? Because I've read it and heard it all. And read it in my inbox, read it in my comment sections. Y'all pull out every racial trope: watermelon, fried chicken, welfare, all the tropes you could pull out. You pull it all out, all of it, because you don't agree with the perspective or you don't agree with me correcting you. Well, guess what? I don't care. Not gonna stop me. Not gonna stop my mission. You can unfollow, unsubscribe. I don't care. The mission will be fulfilled without you. Because kissing someone's ass is never on my agenda. So cut the racism on both sides. How about that? Because at this point, racism is a business. And every time you participate in these fundraisers for the Shilohs and the Carmelos of the world, every time you go to the Protect White Americans rallies, you participate in the very business that you don't benefit from financially or socially. The people who benefit from that, they aren't the ones out there stomping the ground. They send your dumbass out there to do it. The pawns. They send y'all out there to get in front of the cameras saying bonehead things so they can put that in the ether and loop it and make it seem like, oh, this is white conservatives. This is what white conservatives thinks. That ain't no white conservative I know. The white conservatives I know are balanced, fair, smart, can hold a conversation, and understands that the whole damn world doesn't think like them. We're all Americans at the end of the day. We can agree to disagree, but when it gets to the point where we're just so incoherent, that's where someone has to sound the alarm and say, hey, this is getting out of control. We're fed up. We're fed up. You're fed up with what? You're fed up with what? Now, I could see if there were laws on the books that said white people can't do this and white people can't do that. But some video on social media got you so riled up that now you out in the real world calling black people the N-word just because they did something you don't like or because y'all had a kerfuffle over something. Cut the crap and grow the hell up for the most part. We got bigger fish to fry, y'all. You can't on the one hand call yourself an American and on the other hand disparage another American because they don't have the same skin tone as you or because they did something wrong or something that you don't like. You're all goofy. Anyway, that's my rant. Oh, wait, before I go. This right here, so we can end on a little lighter note, just kind of bring it up a little bit before we go into our turntable rewind. This right here is how I've been feeling. Hold on, let me load the video. With regards to people, places, and things, and it's from Not one of my favorite movies, but it's a Spike Lee joint that I've seen. My favorite Spike Lee joint is Malcolm X, of course, and then Mo Better Blues with Denzel. And anyway, uh, so let's roll it.
Dago Wab, Guinea, garlic bread, pizza slinging, spaghetti bending, Victor Mon, Perry Como, Luciano Pavarotti, solo meal, non-singer motherfucker.
You gold teeth, gold chain wearing, fried chicken and biscuit eating, monkey, ate baboon, big thigh, fast running, high jumping, spear chucking, 360-degree basketball dunking, titsoon, spade, mulling yarn. Take your fucking pizza and go the fuck back to Africa.
You little slanty-eyed, Nino-speaking American, own every fruit and vegetable stand in New York, bullshit Reverend Sun Young Moon, Summer Olympic 88 Korean kickboxing sabaran bitch.
You Goya bean eating, 15 in a car, 30 in an apartment, pointy shoes, red wearing, menudo, meter, Puerto Rican cocksucker. Yeah, you.
It's cheap. I got good price for you. Mayor Kachi. How I'm doing? Chocolate egg cream drinking, bagel and deluxe, banana for this Jew asshole.
Yo! Hold up! Time out! Time out! Y'all take a chill. You need to cool that shit.
I'm Samuel L. Jackson in all of this. You need to cool that shit out. Cut the dog mess. We got to figure this out, people. Because living in extremes in this imaginary world where every black person is radical and every white person is radical ain't going to get us nothing but trouble. Anyway, this is our Turntable Rewind. All right, this is our Turntable Rewind. This is basically where we go back in time. There's several charts and several distinct moments in music history that I choose to highlight. But on this day in the year 2006, the top 10 songs on the Billboard Hot 100 goes as follows. The Red Hot Chili Peppers with Danny California. Rolling in at number 9 is I Found You, Miss New Booty by Bubba Sparks. Ha ha. In at number 8, You're Beautiful. I couldn't quite get that note. Wait, I was like, I'm not going to try it again. You're Beautiful by James Blunt. Bouncing in at number 7, Lean With It, Rock With It, Lean With It, Rock With It, Lean With It, Rock With It, Lean With It. Them Franchise Boys with Lean With It, Rock With It. In at number 6 is Control Myself by LL Cool J. I think that's one LL Cool J song I do not know. And I believe when I saw the cover on the cover of it, it says featuring Jennifer Lopez or somebody like that. Anyway, in at number 5 is Natasha Bedingfield with Unwritten. Hitting at number 4 is Cam Millionaire with Riding. What you know about that? What you know about that? What you know about that? Yeah, I know all about that. Riding in at number 3 is T.I. with What You Know. Oh man, wow! This song was I didn't know Sean Paul was doing it like this on the charts back then. I got the right temperature. Coming in at number 2 is Sean Paul, Temperature, and rolling in at number 1 is Bad Day by Daniel Powter. I have to tell you, I have no idea what that song is. I'll listen to it after this show. Anyway, conveniently, the number 1 album in America on this day, May 5th in 2006, was Diddy's Press Play. Now, I know the trial started today. I know the Diddy trial started today. And all of that. Let the man have his day in court. But we can't deny Tell Me with Christina Aguilera. What was this song with Nicole Scherzinger? What was that song? I forgot the song with Nicole Scherzinger, but that was on that album too, right? And then, my ultimate favorite was Last Night with Keisha Cole. Last night, couldn't even get an answer. Y'all remember that song? Y'all remember that song? Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. On this day in 1962, West Side Story, the soundtrack for West Side Story was the #1 album and stayed at #1 for 54 weeks. Yeah, I mean, that's 20 weeks longer than any other album. That's crazy. 54 weeks? Dang. Y'all was bumming in Puerto Rico's in America. um Happy 36th birthday to singer Chris Brown, born in 1989, known for the hits Run It and Kiss Kiss. I guess, whatever. And he was born in, oh, wait, how do we say this? Tap, Tappahannock, Virginia. That's a country ass name. Anyway, and now it's time for an AJ throwback. All right, so this throwback is, I know you see I know you see skin. I know you see skin. I'm gonna show 3 images actually, and so, but it's not what you think it is. So these images, all 3 of them, well, 5 because one's a collage, but all 3 of these images, I was living in a homeless shelter on Skid Row, on Skid Row at the time these images were taken. And so the crazy thing, the thing that I made clear when I lost everything and life got to this point where I lost literally everything and I had to burn it to the ground and start over. I made it clear that I was not going to look like what I was going through. So I was like, you still gonna go to the gym, you still gonna audition, you still gonna find work, you still gonna get it together, and then this is a moment in time. This is a moment in time. That's what I kept telling myself, you know. And I remember in my room in the shelter, we would have who the hell's we? I would have up Bible verses, different Bible verses. And I'm sure I took a picture of that before I took it all down before I left there. But I it's somewhere in the cloud, I'll find it, and maybe share it in the future. But anyway, but what was also not looking like what I was going through also reminded me during this time I had a dermatologist appointment in Beverly Hills, and I didn't have a car, so I had to take the bus. So I remember I had to take the 6 bus. So the 6 bus goes from Skid Row all the way out to Santa Monica, which is the ocean. So it goes from hell all the way to paradise. And so I got on the 6 bus. I went to the dermatologist. The dude was a complete jerk, because it wasn't really about helping me with the problem that I was having with my skin at the time. It was just about trying to bill my insurance. You could tell the dude was totally he didn't care. It was not about helping me. It was just about getting some money. I was just you could literally, sometimes you could feel like you're just a bill. This person they don't care, and so walked out of there annoyed because I wasted this whole trip to come over here. So I had church that evening. So I got on the bus and I'm sitting on the bus and I'm just thinking, because that's artist mind. I'm always thinking, I'm always processing, I'm always creating something. And so I'm just thinking, I'm like, wow, this bus goes from the richest of the rich to literally the bottom, the poorest, the most discarded of society. And that's where I live. And so I remember I got back to Skid Row, was in my room. I had church that night and I was like, I gotta go. And so I got ready for church, walk into the train. It was like a half mile to the train. And so I'm walking. And as I'm walking, my eyes start welling up. And I'm like, you know, and I start to feel overwhelmed and I'm walking and my eyes are welling up and I'm like, I'm trying to fight it because I know I'm in public, and if anybody knows me, know I keep everything to the vest. You know, I'm not the most vulnerable, open person, even though whatever. I'm just not that guy. So I'm like, what is going on? So I couldn't hold it. Like I couldn't hold the tears. I'm just crying. And I'm like, I'm on the I get to the train, I'm on the train platform. I am uncontrollably crying and I don't know what the hell is wrong with me because I'm mad at myself for showing emotion in public. That's the first thing. And I remember leaning on the wall of the train and I wish somebody would hug me right now. I wish somebody would hug me and tell me everything's going to be okay right now. I just need somebody to tell me it's going to be okay right now. And I'm just literally weeping like a baby. I'm a grown ass man, bro. And I'm on a subway platform weeping like a child. And I get on the train, I'm still crying. I'm like, what the hell? And I got to church. And of course, I don't remember the word that night, but of course that sent me because I, I was just, I was completely overwhelmed at that point. And I just needed, I don't know if it was me needing, I knew I would be fine, but when you're going through it, you just need to know, am I on the right track? Am I doing the right thing? Is this how it is? I don't know. I still to this day cannot fully understand what that was about, except maybe it was just like, okay, I don't know how many months I had been homeless at that point. I want to say maybe because let's see, I was on Skid Row for 9 months, so probably that was probably like month 6, and the trauma of for the first time in my life not having an address, the trauma of that, and then to not have a place to live, which I never not had, right? And so I mean, I don't know, but and so whatever it is you're going through, all that to say, it is a moment in time. It ain't forever. Um, make sure you stay prayed up. Make sure you stay faithful to your word. Make sure you have a mission and a vision. You write it down and make it plain. And most importantly, don't tell that many people, if anybody at all. Sometimes you don't have to tell anybody. Me, I tell very little of what I actually work on because I just feel like I need to protect it until I don't know, like till I'm mature enough in it to share it with the world. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense. But life gets hard sometimes. Sometimes you hit the wall. Sometimes you need to just scream, cry, let it out before you do something more drastic. And now you got a felony and hopefully nothing worse. It gets better, y'all. It gets better, y'all. And these setbacks are lessons. They're lessons. They're designed to teach you something. And so don't stay down there too long. Like my mentor once said, don't sit in it for too long. Just a little bit. Then you got to get up and start figuring it out. So hopefully that inspired some of y'all. I appreciate you. Thank you for listening to my rant on my throwback picture. And we'll be right back.
I'm not gonna lie to you. When I slip it in and you hear, oh, Fuck. You're about to get dominated.
Heritage-ünüzün efendim şarakiyata için cumhuriyetin ekimatinsin.
Throw out the books and rewrite the laws, 'cause I'll still be a flaming homosexual. If being gay is fabulous, can't hold it back, there's no stopping us. Say gay, say gay, say gay. Say gay, say gay, say gay.
Girl, shut the fuck up. You thought you ate that? Bitch, you... Wait, what the fuck?
So y'all know I'm transgender, right? I've had a double mastectomy, hysterectomy, and 4 separate surgeries in my bottom area to create a penis. All of this shit covered by insurance. Zero out of pocket for me. When I look at the medical bills, they're damn near almost touching $1 million. Crazy, right? So let me tell you what's fucked up about our health insurance system. I go in the other day to get a root canal. For them to tell me my insurance won't cover my root canal. I gotta pay $1,500 out of pocket for a root canal. Can somebody please make this shit make sense? Don't get me wrong. I'm thankful that they did cover.
Have you ever heard them say if since we've been sitting here for I don't know how long?
Yes, I've been taking a tally.
Oh, okay. Can you show us? Can you tell us what the tally is?
More than 35 times, the Republican witnesses and Republican members of the committee have used the word if.
Thank you so much for that. Because honestly, if they would continue to say if or Hunter and we were playing a drinking game, I would be drunk by now. Because I promise you, they have not talked about the subject of this, which would be the president. But let me tell you something that was so disturbing as I walked in to this chamber today. As I prepared, I said, what is the crime?
It's always lit over at AJsRANTroom.com. We got the best bags and accessories, our beloved Black Series. We got fresh lids for you hat lovers, fire jackets and hoodies, and of course we got you covered on the t-shirts. And introducing our first shoe line, Aloysius Germain. So get on over to AJsRANTroom.com today and get to shopping. You won't be disappointed.
Shout out to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for always holding me down. Shout out to my Rant fam. Thank you all for continuing to support the channel, continuing to support AJ's Rant Room. Shout out to my sponsor, to the sponsor of this video, AJ's Rant Room. My sponsor, like I'm not the person, but AJsRANTroom.com is how you support the channel right now. Please go over there, check out our merch. Buy something, help a brother out. We appreciate you. Thank you. I'm grateful for every shirt, every hat, every bag, everything that's purchased. I don't care if you buy one item and never come back. I appreciate the support one way or the other. Thank you so much. Shout out to my Trifecta Hour fam. And speaking of Trifecta Hour, there will be no actual live stream this Friday, 8 p.m. So that's Trifecta Hour is live Friday, 8 p.m. It's myself, Inked, and Prince. We will be off this week. Well, they will be off this week, but I will still be here. So this Friday at 8 p.m. on this channel, AJ's Rant Room, will be the Rant Experience Rant Fridays live. So hopefully you'll join me for that instead of the Trifecta Hour. Hopefully I can entertain you just as well as the three of us collectively. So make sure you check me out Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on AJ's Rant Room. And to some of you, this might be just another podcast, but to me, this is the next chapter in purpose. And for that, I thank you. You could be anywhere in the world right now, but you chose to give me a few minutes of your day. And for that, I'm grateful. And with that said, I'm out.